Hello YouTube and welcome back. It's me Fruit Guru and I hope you're all doing well. I hope your pulls were lucky on banner and I hope you've kind of finished up farming all those annoying recipes for your coral sword or your mace, whatever have you. I think I got my mace in record time. Actually, I had it by the second day. Still can't max it out for shit, but I've got it built up to +5 anyway. So I guess that's something. But today we're here to talk about Ildyra, and we're here to talk about her from a kind of PvP perspective. And I guess I'll start with I had no interest in this unit whatsoever. I'd kind of watched the usual content creators, and they really drove home the emphasis. You know, she's Mediana 2.0. She's better at farming most stuff. No limit break. You know that needs to be casted with an animation and multi, spammable, can keep recasting the AoEs fast, instant cast. And whereas I thought that would be a nice to have, it wasn't a need as far as I was concerned with my account. And as you all know, resources are pretty slim. You can't just build everything unless you are an absolute super whale, which I am not. So not really doable. However, this unit fell into my lap through the MR Plus guaranteed ticket banner we have at the moment. And at first I was kind of like, eh. But the more I looked into her, the more she actually appealed to me. The aesthetic, not so much. I'm not really one for glasses. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. It's just an opinion. I actually wear glasses myself, but I broke them because I'm an idiot and I haven't replaced them. So I feel like I can say it. But yeah, just not really my aesthetic. But she's actually grown on me, and my favorite color is red, and I like purple hair. So, these are not the things that matter at all. But yeah, I'm coming around. So anyway. Yeah, onto the actual content of the video itself. A lot of people compare her to Mediana, but what I didn't really notice, and if I missed this, I'm sorry, but a lot of content creators in their should you pull videos, they never really went into how amazing she can be in PvP, specifically live PvP. And it wasn't until I actually saw a random post on Reddit for some guy saying he was on a huge win streak and she was only level 60 something that I kind of thought, ooh, maybe I'll give this a go. And Jesus Christ, it was worth it. So I think from a PvP perspective, I would not compare this unit to Mediana. I would actually compare this unit to Ayaka. And obviously there's a few glaring differences, such as Ayaka has full life, which we don't have, but everything else is kind of the same, but with a lot more damage and a lot more AoE as well, which is actually a really nice thing to have in this game because stuff tends to bunch up quite a lot. And especially with tanks as well, a lot of stuff gets focused on the tanks, but if you're focusing AoE on the tanks, you're probably going to clip something squishy along the way. So that's also really nice to have as well. And I don't want to shite on too much about this, but really briefly, we tend to use Ayaka in PvP for her time mage stuff and her white mage stuff. So she's healing, she's reviving, she's hasting, and it's pretty juicy, it's pretty good. However, I think for me personally, one of the strongest parts of Ayaka's kit is her limit burst. It's an instant heal all, remove stop and everything like that, which right now is quite nice. But it goes off very, very early, I find. Even one unit might just be kind of chunked and she'll cast it. And then suddenly you're losing a lot of value because you're losing your only instant cast heal. You're losing a big heal. You're losing the stop remove mechanic, which at that stage, a lot of your team probably hasn't been stopped. Maybe you're removing one, but it's not great value a lot of the time. And I don't want to undersell Ayaka because she's still one of my favourite units and I think she's absolutely amazing. But just because she's got a really strong kit doesn't mean she actually always utilises it. And if I had a euro for every time she was about to cast heal on a unit then that gets killed while she's charging it, I'd have a lot of frustrating euros. I don't know where I'm really going with that, but yeah, she has her flaws as well. So I'm not here today to tell you that Ildyra is the Ayaka replacement. She's not Ayaka 2.0. But what she does is stuff very similar that Ayaka does, but she does it differently. And in a lot of cases, you're going to find that this brand of different is better. And you're also going to find that this brand of different is kind of crappier in a lot of ways as well. So it's like anything, you know, there's no best unit, there's no best comp in this game. It's all relative to what you're trying to do with it. And I guess that's another thing I'll hark on about really quickly, because I keep seeing this in Reddit, like posts like, what's the best for this? What's the best for that? There is no best. I'm just going to say that like straight out. There's no best guild comp, because, you know, a guild comp can be countered so easily. There's no best arena comp. There's no best of anything. It's just you work with what you have to counter what you're trying to beat. Okay? So, you know, I'm always happy to answer questions on, like, you know, what's good in this situation or what should I use out of what I have. But I generally don't like seeing questions like what's the best, because, you know, it's not really, that's not how it works. Anyway, back onto Ildyra. Why am I comparing her to Ayaka? Because her main job, Arithmetician, is essentially AoE Black Mage with White Mage with Time Mage all rolled into one. The Time Mage parts are a little bit different than how Ayaka works, but I'd actually argue that they're much stronger for what you're actually going to use. Spellblade I actually tend to turn on for Arena and Guild Battle. I'll get into that later. And Black Mage we're not really going to touch, because there's better Black Mages out there, there's better Black Mages coming out there, and most of her damage kind of comes from her multipliers for her math stuff. So this, I think the general consensus with Umbra Rays actually as well, who I'd quite respect a lot on this character, because he's actually built her up and uses her a lot in JP. He doesn't really touch us with a barge pole for the majority of stuff, so I think he's kind of right there, and that's the opinion that I'd be taking as well, from what little I know at this point. But into her abilities, right, what makes her so strong, specifically at live PvP, are these three mathematicians stuff, and, well, these two mathematician skills and her limit burst. I just briefly touch on these because I'm going to make a video specifically for live PvP in a bit. But this here basically boosts your CT. So it's like an AoE quicken. It doesn't guarantee that they'll get their move on the next turn, but I've had situations, just for context, I run her with double gunners in Arena, which I haven't been able to do for a long time because I've been countered quite hard. But she kind of fixes that, because this can allow you to get 4 sharp shots off pretty much back to back. And there's not a lot of teams that can recover from that at all. I mean, even 2 sharp shots can be quite decimating if your opponent's positioning is bad, but this just absolutely takes the cake. It's so strong. I generally turn it off in auto stuff because it's not ideal at the start of the battle. You kind of lose a bit of value on it, and I'd rather she does other stuff. But that's just to note why my level is actually 87, because this has a multiplier based off level divisible by 3. And this is basically the highest level I can get to her with her shards right now without breaking her and nerfing this for live PvP. And I've been playing so much live PvP that I actually want to keep this as it is for now. So just in case you're wondering, it's not that I'm lazy, that's done on purpose. CT average, again, this is obnoxious. She's actually borderline obnoxious as fuck in live PvP because of these skills. And like, if you're running a double gunner comp like me with this unit, the only option that the enemy has to do, unless they're mirror matching you, is essentially they have to rush you, because if they don't, they're just going to get picked off from a distance. And this is actually quite easy to do. A lot of Victoras and Mirandas, the Victora would like kind of get up close, Miranda would quicken her, she'd get up even closer, and that's GG. This kind of puts a stop to that by averaging out all the CT in the area. So basically what you want is you want one or a couple of the enemy units, like, you know, here. You want a couple of your units around you. And because I'm running gunners, their agility is so high that when everybody's CT is averaged out together, it's basically the person with the fastest agility gets to go next. And in a lot of cases, that's going to be me. So this, again, you know, you can get off multiple skills without them being able to do anything. It's just a showstopper. And I think this is probably one of the most underrated skills in her kit. It doesn't have a huge proc chance, but keep in mind that a lot of people are running high fate units right now. If they're a magic team, you can take for granted they're going to be doing that. But even teams with like Orlando's and, you know, stuff like that, they're running an Ayaka in the comp, and they want to be able to get the full life off, so they've raised the fate to at least 70 or so, you know. So I've had games where I have back-to-back disabled units for 6 turns. I had an Agrias rush me enemy who thought she was going to kill my Lucia really easily, and this basically completely stopped the party. For 6 turns, she ran around in circles, eventually quit surrendered the game because they got so frustrated. I don't blame them. I do the same. Yeah, and again, like look at the area of effect for this. So I mean, like even if they got a unit a little bit away, and look how far you can cast this away as well. Like absolutely insane value. And this is one of the few things that even if it doesn't proc, I'll still cast it again in the next turn if I can, because it's just so powerful. So I love it. And I mean, again, I'm running double gunners, so they don't even really have the option to run away because I can snipe them. So it just works all so well. Everything else in her kit is really nice as well. Sorry, itchy nose, still coming down off this cold. The only thing I'm not really sure about is which of her reaction skills I want. I'm leaning towards Magic Guard because I feel like I've got so much damage in my teams that I don't really want to do this. Damage distribution, you know, you got to heal a little bit back from what you do, but it's important to note that her AI is heal focused. So just to take a second here, if we compare this unit with Kilfey, you know, she has heals, but if she can attack an enemy in arena, she's always going to prioritize that. Pretty much no matter what, she's always going to attack the enemy. And if her teammate is kind of writhing around on the floor with their organs hanging out, you know, bleeding out pretty heavily, Kilfey will be kind of like, I'll see you later. Whereas Ildyra, you know, best waifu at the moment, I think, she's going to stop what she's doing. She's going to go, let me patch you back up, you know, it's okay. And I like that. Because I feel like, you know, a lot of units, they come with healing off specs or whatever, and they just don't use them, so they may as well not have them when it comes to auto stuff. So I'll always prefer a unit, you know, that prioritizes kind of heals over damage, for a lot of the stuff I do anyway. Everything else is kind of nice. I don't want to go into the whole tree or anything because, you know, you've all seen this with other content creators. You can ask me questions if you want, I'll answer them in the comments. But yeah, that's just a brief kind of overview of why we're going to be using her. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, because depending on the AI, she doesn't use these CT average or height 3 disables much in arena at all on auto. I think I saw her use disable once, but I don't want to say that with 100% certainty because I can't remember if it's true. But generally, she doesn't really seem to use them, so I just use her into Spellblade, and the reason why we do that is because we want her to hang back. She will rush the enemy if she doesn't have anything to buff, and often that outpaces the tank, which can be a little bit of a problem. So if we take a look at our team today, we are working very similarly to the last team I made when I was showcasing Ildyra, and actually not a lot's changed, but we've actually just swapped out Ayaka for Ildyra here. And the reason why I found was Ayaka's great. I still love her as a unit, but like I needed more kind of damage, I found. And I needed more AoE damage, especially with Ildyra, because Ildyra can often like do a good bit of AoE. Not huge, but he chips away. But then because they'll have a tank, it'll give their healer a time to heal up all the units and stuff. So what I'm kind of hoping for is between the fire AoE and the water AoE, we're going to be able to kind of, you know, do a little bit of smash before they can react. So if we have a look at the gear here, not too much change. Warrior of Light's pretty standard. I've given her this big beefy magic cloak, which I still have to finish up. It's only +4, but 21 SPR is nothing to be snuffed at. I gave her a TMR with no ability. You know, I like to do this because I don't want her to be casting less important actions when she could be healing or damaging. And as I said, Spellblade, I think I have turned on. I hope I have turned. No, I don't. So let's fix that. This is, I think, the 5th time I'm shooting this video because I keep making mistakes. So fingers crossed this one's going to work, right? Fingers crossed. As for cards, we give her a Trausu, Warrior of Light. I think I could change this card around, but because I'm going after magic teams, I want a little bit more SPR. And I think it's worth noting that I actually tried this comp with Fryevia tanking, and I ran into a load of Fryevia issues that maybe I'll fix for another video. But basically, I had to kind of turn everything off except for Taunting Blade, because if she was in range, she'd never use Taunting Blade. She'd always use one of her other skills because they do more damage. And that was just really kind of annoying me. So I've actually put Warrior of Light geared a little bit more towards magic resist, but also with the advantage of being able to take a few physical hits and allow us to kind of play around with more teams. So now that you know what we're kind of working with here, I'm going to just pause the video while I find an opponent, and when you join me, we'll be ready to draw some blood, hopefully. Okay, so I think we'll start with an easy one to get going because I want to kind of see how I've changed a little few things around before shooting this. So I'm going to start with this one and just see. We've also got an enemy as well, but you'll notice that she's got the level at 89. She hasn't capped it up, so I'm hoping they're a little less knowledgeable about the unit and haven't invested as much. But we'll see. We'll see. She's probably going to absolutely eat up my Delita if given the chance. But Delita's job is just to get rid of the Mediana and perhaps stop the tank. So we'll see what happens anyway. So Mediana poses no threat, especially at this level, but generally poses no threat. And we've got our magic resistance up here, so that's going to be quite nice. And I wonder, so she's actually got the they have not built this very well for Arena, I feel, because like all she did was run and cast regen, they didn't get much value. Mediana, of course, going to rush forward and tickle our tank. And she could actually kill my Delita from there. She did. If she was optimized better, she would have absolutely destroyed him. Oh. So anyway, that's Mediana down. And we should get some nice damage off here. And we stop the Agrius. And unfortunately, we didn't really get to showcase much. There we go, a little holy at the end to finish it off. But we didn't really get to showcase too much of what Ildyra can do. And the enemy one got pretty smoked. So hopefully we'll have a kind of more suitable opponent for the next one. But it's always nice to start off on a little win, right? So again, I'm going to pause and find an opponent. I'll see you back in a second. Okay, so again, kind of an easy-ish team, again, I guess, because I don't rate Gafgarian pretty highly in PvP. But they do have a Mediana and an Ayaka. And because these are the type of units, not so much the Mediana, but the Ayaka and kill phase and stuff, I'm going to be wanting to pick out. We're going to run this. So, if you didn't notice it in the last fight, Ildyra as well has absolutely crazy range on her skills. She can get stuff that you can't even see on the screen sometimes, which is really cool. So I'm hoping now, this one should be an absolute win, unless something goes horribly wrong. But I just want to kind of see if Ildyra gets to use a little bit more of her stuff. So I think she's actually going to run forward here. Yeah. And we get the Wartaga, and that's going to actually proc out Ayaka's ult, I'm pretty sure. Should bait it. And we get the stop on the Mediana. Yeah, here we go. So this is fine. This doesn't worry me at all, because this is going to kill a lot of them. Or one of them, anyway. 6,000 damage, not too shabby. And we will get a cure, because her personality is kind of cure focused, and that's good. They get the full life up, but it's not going to do enough for them. And at this point, we're just waiting to win. So this should do huge damage. Like, that's AoE as well. If there are 3 of them, you're getting even more value. And Crush Accessory. Yeah, game over. So I think we're going to pick like a kind of really meta team for the next one. And hope it goes well. So bear with me. I'll be right back to you. Okay, so here's an interesting one. They're magic damage focused. And they've got the Warrior of Light. These are fairly meta units. Maybe the Miranda slightly less so, but Kill Faye is a big threat right now. So let's see what happens if we try and fight these. We're going to presume they all have kind of high fate. Maybe Warrior of Light just not really stop strike spec, so he might not be. But we should be able to do some. We should get some good CC out, and I think with our Ildyra's AoE, we're going to chip down at them a lot. They also don't really have a healer, because even though Killfake can heal, as I said earlier, her priority is always going to be to attack, and if our tank is kind of taking those hits, then it's not really going to be too much of a threat. The only thing that can go wrong I can see in here is a really unlucky energy buster, which does happen, and there's just no way to predict it because it completely depends on all the movements leading up to the fight. So already, that's a huge amount of damage on a kill fay, I think, which is quite nice, especially since we're not optimized very well. Warrior of Light will unfortunately take a very bad mapping change there, and this is what happens when the tank is over here they don't have a tank. Of course, we get some nice damage off there, even though she might go down with Holy. Just about survives. We're quite fortunate. We should get a heal up, well, after this. And again, you're going to see she's going to charge. But like Ayaka, it's an instant heal, covers the board, and we survive another Holy. Which is just really, really nice, because I've got a lot of melee units that get one shot by this sort of stuff. Again, an instant cure again. If that was an Ayaka, the Holy would have probably gone off before Warrior of Light got health, and if he was a little bit less, he could have gone down. So I think that's really good value. And we're getting these height 2 Holies out now. And there's nothing they can really do because like everything's just getting absolutely shat on. So yeah, I think this unit is absolutely fantastic. I need more time to play around with her and kind of get her up a little bit more. Especially her Esper and weapon. I need a min-max on that. But I hope you kind of get an idea of how strong she is. As a unit. I actually, what are we running on the video? 20 minutes now. I'll tell you what, we'll do one more. We'll do one more because the first two fights were kind of easy. So I'll pause it again and I'll be right back. Okay, so this one could actually be a potential loss depending on how it plays out. But this is a really meta team right now. You're never going to not find this team in your arena matches, basically. So they've got the Ayaka, they've got the Warrior of Light, and they've got Agrius. Honestly, I'm not sure if I can beat this. I think it's going to really come down to who affects the or who gets the status effects. Keep in mind that Ayaka may be a little bit stronger in this matchup because she can remove the stops, but I'm hoping that we get a very long-ranged attack off from our Ildyra, and that's going to bait the Ayaka ult, so she's not going to have it for later. Might happen, might not. Reality is that Agrius will probably run towards the Warrior of Light to buff him, but we'll see how it plays out. If we could beat this or come very close to beating this without it being too cheesy, that would be a very, very promising thing for this comp, I think. So let's just see what happens once we load. Any day now. Okay, so last couple of matches, their right unit has kind of moved forward, and that's baited mine into the attack. But this time we're actually going to get the buff up, and it's a magic resist buff, which is going to be nice if Ayaka runs in and tries to holy us. So let's see what happens. Shift attack, oh, definitely turn that off if you have it on for most stuff, I think. So their tank has no AP there at all, and he's not going to be able to do too much. We almost got him down to the stop. This will basically bait the Ayaka ult. And we're in a pretty good position here, I think. So, let's see. We should get some... Oh, that was really nice, Jesus. Yeah. This is actually going way better than I thought it would, and we're so far from being optimal. So they can cure up, but because we have a lot of AoE here, Ayaka's not going to be able to focus one person. If they move around, they could walk out of something. She's down now anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And yeah, as you can see, it's pretty much GG. We are so high on health. We're against one of the biggest meta teams going right now. Now, they could maybe not have been as optimized as we thought, but, you know, I think that's a pretty good result. So I think with that, I'm going to leave you anyway. I'm going to maybe make another video later if I get a bit of time. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Let me know how you're finding this unit, and let me know if you have any ideas for my own comp or whatever, or something you'd like to see. Best of luck, Fruit Guru out.